Okay, I want to go over today's sheets, the Grafton and the Wodonga meeting sheets. The reason why is I'm going to start doing some talks about the thought process that goes through these sheets every day. I'm going to keep drilling it into everybody that you cannot win every day, right? And why, again, you see why I pass on meetings, all right? Because Tuesdays is a bad day. Wednesday is a bad day. Monday sometimes is not a bad day, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays are awful days. The midweek meetings are one of the toughest days to win money. You have to really know what days to bet on, and you have to know the meetings to stay away from and the meetings to bet on. Now, I made the call this morning that I was going to send out the Grafton sheet purely because I wanted everybody to sort of practice, get their heads around how we do things, and how, if you were actually betting, what you would do here. Now, again, I'm not betting on the meeting. I didn't like the meeting, and I was spot on. Okay, again, members, you got to look at the meetings that save you money, not the ones that, of course we're here to make money. I'm not, I never would suggest anything otherwise, but I don't do sheets and then willy-nilly abort for no reason. There's always a reason for what I do, and there's always a reason on the thought processes that are going through me, through my head when I'm doing these meetings. So, let's look at race one. Out of all the races, today is probably the only race that I thought it's not a bad betting race when I did the meeting itself. Now, we only had basically, we had the 2, the 5, and the 7. Now, if we have a look at the prices and we see what we got, all we had to do here was beat the 6. Now, it was an emergency runner. I wanted 330. I think this thing started really short. Yeah, 240. That's right. So, it blew out the price, but again, the money was on the 1 and the 2. The rating suggested that the 1 and the 2 were probably, even though I didn't have the 1, I didn't like its price, but we were spot on with that. This is probably the only race if I was betting, I would have been playing in. The rest, I just would have dumped them because it's just that type of meeting. Now, we go to quickly race 2, and you see that we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All we had to beat the 1, but the markets were spot on. You must understand how these markets work, and the markets work by the day. Monday, there's a pattern going on Monday, but Monday isn't the same as Tuesday. Tuesday isn't the same as Wednesday. This is the thing. Again, I'm going to keep drilling this into everybody. The markets are designed to make sure that you lose. They're not designed for you to win. So whatever these dynamic odds, all these platforms and Betfair and everybody, you're never going to be 100% accurate, and you're never going to be 100% spot on with what you do. All you need to be is 70% correct, all right? And then you're halfway home. Now, again, this particular race, they only ever wanted the 1. Anything else, you're just kidding yourself. That 2 was a terrible price. Like 6, it wasn't a decent price. I looked at the race because I was doing work, and then you look at the 3. That both of these runners were just what I call suck me in runners. The real winner was the 1. You can just see it. $1.60. All they were doing then, the percentages came down, as you can see down here. That's the percentages there. That was probably $1.60 at what was probably 145% market. So it's just the corporates just getting a little bit more out of it, and that's it. And they're enticing you to bet on the 2 and the 3. And the ratings told me, again, when I look at these type of races and I go, how strong are the ratings on the 2 and the 3 to beat the 1? They weren't super strong. But you guys don't have the luxury of looking what I'm looking at. So again, you just got to know where are the meetings to bet with and the ones that you stay away from. We go to race 3. We have a situation here where we had the 1, the 2 was a sub runner. It was never going to hit price, and then we had obviously the 4, the 6, and the 8. And again, some horse comes out at 60 to 1 and wins. you know, it happens. It's just racing. The winner itself never rated on my end. So, you know, it's not one of those runners that I could say, oh, yeah, you know, it was there. It was there. There was just no, and that's why it was 60 to 1. No one had it. There was no money for it. You know, there was no money at all for it. It went from 20 to 1 out to 80 to 70 to 1. I think Betfair was, you know, 70 to 1. So, you know, it's good to look at these days and go, you know, they're just flat days. Look, I know the one probably got nailed on the line, and you know, probably we'd be saying that we had the winner, but we didn't. That's the thing. So again, it's the correct call to just go bin these meetings. They're poor meetings. They really are. There are occasionally good meetings on a Monday and Tuesday, but it's rare. You know, you have to sit there, follow the markets, know what you're doing with the markets, and even still, they can still throw you out. And then we had another race at race 4. You know, the usual. Have a look at the usual suspects: the 3, the 5, the 6. You know, none of them did anything. So, and again, we had another runner that's come out and won at, you know, 20 to 1. I think it was the third roughest horse in the field. So you're seeing again the example of poor meetings. Now, interesting enough, that runner, it actually rated on my end. I don't know. Sometimes I miss runners. Sometimes I might have a lapse, but that's because probably I've already made up my mind where my head is and where these sheets are going. So when I start looking into the meeting, I start the night before, and I start looking at the horses, and I start looking at the numbers, and I start seeing things that are like, stay away from these meetings. And that's probably why that runner was not on the sheet. I'd made up my mind that this meeting was going to be binned. So, you know, and then all of a sudden I look at the numbers and I think, no, I'm not going to look at them, you know, because you just know. Sometimes you have a feeling of what's going on, and because I'm so intimate with my system, I have a feeling that this meeting's just not going to be good. And I didn't like the soft 5 again. They're no good. These track ratings, you know, I need these tracks to be well over on a good 4. Okay, these soft 5, soft 6, there, and I know that they had a big storm down there a couple of days ago. So again, the track reading wasn't spot on. I get the proper. I call the people on track, and I ring them up, and I ask them 1,000 questions because I need to know. I need to know what that track was. And everyone that I'd spoken to down there had told me that this track was going to be probably a soft 5 or a soft 6. So we go to race 5, and then we've got another horse that's come out, and you know, again, look at all the usual suspects. They just did nothing. So you've got a situation now where you've got all these horses. You've got the 2, the 5, the 6, and you know, they were on my sheet, and that's what I don't like, and that's why I abort as well. See, everyone's like, oh, why would he abort when you got no? Because I've got the runners that everyone else has got, which means I'm looking at the same data as everyone else. I don't want to look at the same data as everybody else. I'm not in the business of backing what everyone else is backing. I do the opposite of what everyone else does. Now, the argument could be right now is, oh, but you're not winning. Absolutely. Come and see me in a year's time and ask me the same question. I assure everybody I'm that confident that we're going to be ahead at the end of the year, okay, that, you know, I'll even take bets on it, okay? This system works. It works. I'm so confident that it works. I know I've sat here for, you know, a long time, and I've seen what it can do, you know, and we're getting a lot of big price winners that are coming through, but we just need to be obviously betting in the right meetings. So, and you can see again, and this is the thought process when I am looking at these meetings, you can see here, you know, I've got the 2, I've got the 4, and I've got the 5, and I've got the 6, and they're all what I call the usual suspects. All right. And what happens when I have meetings like this? Yes, there's great parts, and hey, look, at the end of the day, some of these horses could have won, should have, couldn't, but they didn't. You know, so when I abort a meeting, there's no just because I'm being lazy. I spend hours on these meetings, hours and hours and hours and hours on these meetings. I don't abort for no reason, but when I do abort, you just pay attention to it, because it's basically telling you that I don't like it. The numbers are telling me to stay away, and we've been correct that many times in the last, say, week or so You know, think about all the meetings that we have aboard in the last week. We've been pretty much spot on. So, you know, but there are people out there that do want to bet. If you want to bet, knock yourself out. Just make sure you follow the rules. All right, and then we go to race 6. And this was a race that I was definitely never going to bet in. You know, 5, 7, 12, 14, all first starters. 5 and a 12 are the best of the trial runners. 5, 12, 14, and you know, you saw what happened if anyone was watching. The 14 won. I did do the trial on the 14, and I thought it wasn't bad, and like I said, in saying that this is a weak field, so they could run a race off their recent trials. Not a keen betting race. These runners, but I suggest let the race go. When I did the trial on these runners, I thought they were not bad, but country trials could be deceiving. And I need way more than $3.50 taking a horse first up, you know, in the country. So, you know, the data was again pretty much spot on. We got the horses, we got the second horse, but again, it was just a poor betting day, poor betting thing. Now, I look at race 7 that hasn't raced yet, and I'm looking at the race itself, and I'm going, is there anything here? Again, we've got probably, well, we don't have the 2. Sorry, we've got the 2 as an emergency, but again, the usual suspects. You know, I often say yawn, 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 because that's exactly how I feel. It's just boring. I can't sit here. All you're doing right now, when you look at these sheets, you're going, right, well, we can't back the 2. Can we get the price for the 3? Yes, we can. Can we get the price for the 4? Yes, we can. So can we get the price for the 6 and the 7? Not really. So then you're arguing, you're starting to take on your data. You're going to yourself, who do I drop? And you know, we've already dropped the 2, which is being backed. You can see it here across the board, 350. When I see that, that's a sure sign that this thing's on. And then I look here as well, and we've got the 8. Well, we don't have the 8 on the sheet, but I look at these prices: 340, 350, 340, 340 across the board. This horse is wanted. So do I want to be sitting here making a call? Yes, I know that pot's decent, but still we're taking on 2 runners that at the moment that are well and truly in the market. Then we look at the 6. All right, now we wanted 690, 550. You know, at no point did that horse even remotely hit price. It's only starting to hit price with obviously 2 minutes to go. But when I need to send out a message to everybody, I can't send out a message, you know, I say, look, 10, 15 minutes out. Look at the prices, 10, 15. They're not even remotely there. And I'm not taking $1.90 under price. Not on these type of races where, okay, if I knocked off $1 on this horse, I wanted $6.90. Let's say the market price at the moment, let's say 5 minutes ago, was $5. I'm taking $1.90 off a horse to take on the 2 and the 8. It's madness. It's what you call looking for a bet. And it's not about not trusting the data. The data's telling me that this thing is a $6.90 chance. It didn't tell me that it was a $5 chance. It didn't tell me that it was it basically saying the winning chances are 14%. It didn't tell me that it was going to be a 20% winning chance. All right, that's what $5 is. It's telling me this thing is so I could knock off 50 cents. I could even knock off $1, but knocking off $1.90 to take on 2 runners is madness, and that's why I abort, and that's the reason why I abort, because the data is telling me that, well, we know that the 2 can win, but we obviously need better price. We know that the 8 can win, but we need a better price. Hence why bidding the meeting. We quickly go over to race 8. Okay, have a look at that pot. Again, we've got the usual suspects: the 1, the 2, the 3. And this meeting today has been poor for everyone. There's been 3 poor big results, like horses over 20 to 1. So these usual suspects aren't even winning today. So can you imagine we were backing these usual suspects today and backing all these horses that were apparently in the market? And that's why I pulled out. When this happens on my data's not designed to be backing the usual suspects. It's not designed for that. It's designed to find those $20 winners. And the fact that we didn't have any of them on the sheet today, it's not a good sign, as in for the meeting. All right. Now, again, there's a couple of races there that I saw the runners, but I knew this meeting was going to be pretty much binned after race 3. So I don't like Grafton as a whole as a track, and I've just seen now as I've looked up that the track has been upgraded, but it got upgraded after I think race 6. I'm not sure race. There you go. So after race 6, so it's gone from a soft 5 to a good 4 now. And again, we can sit here day in, day out. I was just speaking to someone before about this, and I basically he asked me the question of, what is it with these runners that you don't like? I said, I'm not in the market of backing these $3.50, $4 runners, because you need such a high strike rate to make money off them. And you know the old saying, you can go broke backing winners. So, and I hope everybody knows what that means. Basically, it means I can sit here and back a $3.50 winner, and then I can the next $3.50 winner with a couple of others. The moment I have two runners, a couple of races that I didn't get a winner, I'm gone, and then I can back the next. I can have on a sheet 4 winners for the day, and I've still lost money because we're not getting value on our runners. It's all about the value. It's all about betting on the right meetings. I don't take a board in a meeting very, very easily. It's not something that I just do willy-nilly. There's a big decision to make when I do it, and at the moment, I think that a board in the meetings has saved us in the last week, I reckon, at least 50, 60 units, at least. So, obviously we've got to start getting the winners, and we've got to start getting it, but we need to hold, be patient. It's going to come. It's not something that's going to happen next week. It's not a day-to-day thing. It's a week-to-week, month-to-month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Big bank in order to keep up with the amount of bets that we're doing. But as I said, I think today was a good call not to bet at Grafton. And there was also, we've done the Wodonga sheet, and that's another sheet that I can go through and go over. And it's the same reasoning. I had the same feeling that I had at Grafton that I did at Wodonga. And that's why I aborted on these meetings, and that's why I don't pass. But as I said, these are the type of meetings that everybody should be practicing on, sitting there and working out what these markets are doing today. Like so far, the markets today, they make you look like an idiot, because there's been 3 races today that I've been sitting here doing work, and I thought, oh, okay, well, this is what's going to happen here. And it hasn't eventuated like that, hasn't panned out like that. So, you can have all the analysis in the world, you can have all the data in the world, you can have all the intelligent information you can get. It doesn't matter. And don't let anyone tell you anything otherwise. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's myself, if it's Dominic Byrne, if it's the Bartholomew brothers. I don't care. They'll all tell you the same thing. These guys are not doing anything differently than I'm doing. I can assure you, through the same ups and downs, and everybody knows it's very, very difficult to win during the midweeks, and you need to be careful that you are betting in the right races and you're not just betting for the sake of betting, because you need to be smart when you're betting on these races. There was a race that just crossed at Grafton, I think race 6. Race 7, sorry. And then there's another roughie. That's 4 there today. So it's just been a complete and utter wipeout there at Grafton. There's another $30 winner as it's just crossed the line. And again, there's no reason for this today. No reason. It just happens, and that's just horse racing. And that's why sometimes, people don't understand that when we make decisions, the decisions that we make, they're decisions to protect everybody from days like this. I don't see some of the runners, the winners there today, and then there's also a pattern. You get patterns where every single winner will be a favourite, and they just win, and everybody's happy days. You get days like this where roughies just keep winning, and they keep winning. I suspect something's wrong with this track today, hence why the bad results. But look, as I said, I'm going to keep talking and doing these talks to get everybody to get an insight in how and what we think of when we're doing it. The thing that I'm very happy about Grafton today is I actually had a feeling that this was going to happen, because again, the usual suspects, they never win. Bookmakers put out prices, and $2.90, $3.50, and etc. They're not in the business of helping you. All right, they were being very generous with a lot of runners today. A lot of horses that were in the market, they were being very generous with price. When I see that, I sniff around. I look around and go, why are you being so generous today? Why are you offering all these really, $3.50? When that happens, that's when you pull out. Thanks, guys.